Folks, Facebook friends and YouTube followers, you can't be a connoisseur of historical American music without hearing or knowing Froggie Went, a-Courtin. It's a great campfire song, children's song, and a novelty song, and I'm going to do it now in the key of F, I think. The old glasses on. Real long song, so we don't want to take much time talking about it because it's going to eat up a lot of time in the media here. Froggie went a-courtin' and he did right, Froggie went a-courtin' and he did right, Froggie went a-courtin' and he did right, his sword and his pistol by his side, Well, he rode down to Miss Mouse's door, Well, he rode down to Miss Mouse's door, Well, he rode down to Miss Mouse's door, where he'd often been many times before, He took Miss Mousie on his knee, He took Miss Mousie on his knee, He took Miss Mousie on his knee. He said, Miss Mousie, will you marry me? I'll have to ask my Uncle Rat, I'll have to ask my Uncle Rat, I'll have to ask my Uncle Rat, see what he will say to that, Without my Uncle Rat's consent, Without my Uncle Rat's consent, Without my Uncle Rat's consent, I wouldn't marry the president, Well, Uncle Rat laughed and shook his sides, Well, Uncle Rat laughed and shook his sides, Well, Uncle Rat laughed and shook his sides to think his niece would be a bride, Well, Uncle Rat rode out to town, Uncle Rat rode off to town, Well, Uncle Rat rode off to town to buy his niece a wedding gown, Where will the wedding supper be, Where will the wedding supper be, Where will the wedding supper be? Way down yonder in a holler tree, What will the wedding supper be, What will the wedding supper be, What will the wedding supper be? A fried mosquito and a roasted flea, First to come were two little ants, First to come were two little ants, First to come were two little ants, fixing around to have a dance, Next to come was a bumblebee, Next to come was a bumblebee, Next to come come was a bumblebee bouncing a fiddle on his knee. Next to come was a fat sassy lad. Next to come was a fat sassy lad. Next to come was a fat sassy lad. He thinks because he choose to thinks himself as big as his dad. I'm glad I don't have this one memorized. I wouldn't have room for anything else. Thinks himself a man indeed. Thinks himself a man indeed. Thinks himself a man indeed because he chews tobacco weed. And next to come was a big tomcat. Next to come was a big tomcat. Next to come was a big tomcat. He swallowed the frog and the mouse and the rat. Next to come was a big old snake. Next to come was a big old snake. Next to come was a big old snake. He chased the party into the lake. Well, apologies to my YouTube followers for making this so long and eating up so much of your time, but I thought the people should hear it.